Hey YouTube, JM Sports 100 here. I kind of took a little nap, so a little bit behind on what I was supposed to be doing. So now we are going to have a late night edition of getting you ready for the other 15 games of the first week of the 2010 NFL season. Kickoff weekend. Of course, we already saw one game in the books, and it was that NFC Championship game, a rematch, down in New Orleans between the Vikings and the Saints. And for those of you who missed that game, you missed a good game. I was a bit surprised by some things, though. Saints defense. I kind of thought that the Saints defense was going to be a little tougher than what they showed. The Saints defense did not look all that good. Yes, they only held Minnesota to 9 points in that game. Because they did win. But the 9 points, it wasn't 3 field goals. It was a field goal, a touchdown, and there was a blocked extra point on that touchdown. And so it wasn't like the Saints defense did a really great job in their 14-9 victory. And they didn't. They didn't look good. And, I think they had a chance to look a lot better than what they did. Because, the Vikings were missing majorly in their receiving core. And that's another thing, too. The timing for for 5 of the Viking receivers was way off. And I guess you could probably blame it on a few different things. You can blame it on one, probably the fact that Favre missed all of camp, a lot of camp. But he missed a lot of camp last year, and they were fine. But another thing was, Percy Harvin missed some time in camp with the headache problem. Sidney Rice, of course, like we'd mentioned several times, is down with the hip injury. He's down. He's going to miss 5 more games. They brought in, they made a trade with the Miami Dolphins for Greg Camarillo. They traded Benny Sapp for Greg Camarillo. Greg Camarillo, I believe, showed up to the Vikings with the Vikings right before game time. So it's not like Camarillo really had any time to prepare either. Drew Brees looked like Drew Brees. He did, and I think he is looking at another big year again this year. But man, I just didn't like what I saw on either side of the equation. And the Vikings timing will get better, yeah. But I just did not like what I saw. Very, very flag happy crew. Many penalties in the game yesterday. So I believe it was Roy McCauley and his crew that was doing the game. So a very penalty-filled game there. A good game. I was way off, like I said I would be. I was way off on my score. But I guess it was a good game. I mean, as far as football fans go, just a quick stat that I have for you here. Here, I'll throw some stats out for you. Brady is not a bad game. Went 27 of 36 for 237 yards. He had a touchdown pass. I'm getting this stuff courtesy of NFL.com, by the way. Brett Favre, 15 to 27, 171 yards. He had a touchdown. He had a pick, and that interception came, I believe, on the first hit that he took, which was a pretty aggressive hit. As far as the Saints are concerned, as far as the Saints defense. But Favre did not get hit much. I expected him to get roughed up a lot more than what he did. And Favre started out really hot, but in the second half, I believe it was, he started out 0 for 7. So it was a rough start for him for the second half. I am definitely, even though I know it's the first game of the year, Adrian Peterson, 19 carries, 87 yards. Pierre Thomas, not a bad game for the Saints. He had 19 carries for 71 yards. And a score. He had about 3.7 yards a carry. Reggie Bush had 2 carries for 14 yards. Marcus Colston had a pretty big game. He had 5 receptions for 62 yards. One problem that the Saints had in this game was their kicker Hartley. I believe his name is Garrett Hartley. He had a rough game. Missed 3 field goals, and just not a good game for him. But all in all, I thought it was a good game. But I am definitely still standing by what I said, where I do not believe that neither the Saints or the Vikings are going to be in the NFC Championship game this year. I know it's just only the first week, and it was 2 really good teams, but from what I saw, that's still what I believe, is that neither one of them is going to make it to the NFC Championship game. But nonetheless, it was a good way to start off the year, and a good game to start off the year, and I started out 1-0. I will post that on my website. I have to make a page for it yet, but I'll post that on my website. I did pick the Saints to win. Okay. Now, let me explain what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this stuff. And this is probably going to be a multiple-part video every week. I'll probably give a little insight into a little insight into what happened in every game, but I'm not going to go into a big, 7.5 minute review like I did for this. But I'm gonna preview all the other games and things. So I'll be doing that. It'll be fun. And I will. Here's how I'll do it. If there's a specific team that you are looking for, if there's a specific game that you're looking for, this is going to be a multiple-part video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the description what games were covered in that video. Like, I probably won't cover any in this video. I'll probably stop this video and start part 2 of my first game, and I'll have like the Cleveland Browns, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because that's the first game. And if we get to the next game, if we get to Miami and Buffalo, then in that video, then I'll also put that in the description. I'll put the games in every video that they're in. So, in the video that they're in. Another thing, and speaking of the Dolphins and Buffalo Bills, I am going to, like I said in one of the previous videos, do a little survival type thing. And I'm going to go with a lock pick every weekend. I'm going to call it a lock pick, and we're going to see how I do on my lock pick. I already know what game I'm going to have. I'm going to have for my lock pick. I don't know. I thought a little bit about doing the spread with these games, but I think I'm just going to pick winners and losers. I do ESPN Pigskin Pick'em, where I work with the spread, but I don't think I'm going to do anything with the spread here. I think I will just pick the winners and losers, and that way I can avoid trouble by mentioning what the spread is. Because I think I can get in some trouble for mentioning that, so I won't. So, big matchups to talk about this week, and that's what we are going to be doing. Tim Tebow, making his debut and things, and How much playing time do I think he'll get? We'll discuss that when we get to the Denver-Jacksonville game. Which will take place in the next video. So we are going to stop this right now. We're about to 10.5 minutes. I know I can go up to 15, but we're going to stop it right now, and we will kick things off in part 2 with the second game. First game of Sunday, second game overall of the weekend, and that is the Cleveland Browns and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hang on.